Welcome to the following presentation of Minor League Esports on the MLE Network.
Good evening and welcome to Conference Finals Sunday. We're starting off in the Foundation League. We got Bears, we got Spectre, and we got a heck of a match to start off. I'm joined on the desk tonight by Term. Term, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm excited for this game. We got both conference finals actually for FL2s tonight. We got Orange Conference here with Bears and Spectre. We have Hawks Aviators a little bit, not on this stream, but it is happening tonight. But both teams are going to be decided tonight for who plays in grand finals next week, and I am so excited to see who goes through.
Yeah, and another interesting thing too about your conference finals, the Bears playing on stream right now. I have word that their threes match is also later tonight too. So, like you said, a lot of the story is getting written tonight. So we'll find out where we're going to lie for the following week of gameplay. It's looking like we have 3 Bears players in the lobby, so I'm interested to see who's going to come into play. But for the Spectre, we have Vengineer and we have Prototype. One of them coming back from last week, one of them showing up this week for their game. And man, I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to do.
Absolutely. One thing to point out, the Spectre salaries playing tonight, it's a 9 and an 8-5 sal, whereas all 3 Bears players are 10 salary players. It's going to be really interesting to see whether the Spectre can live up and play above their salary, play up to the Bears level, and really make this a good series in the long term.
Yeah, and looking at all that information you had, like you said, the salary on the Spectre a little bit lower, but throughout the season, they spread their twos matches out. They got all of their players involved. The Bears, on the other hand, you look at the 3 players that they have in the lobby with us, all of it loaded onto them. Heavy load for these players, 26-4 for Hoos, 17-8 for Quilly, and 10-0 for Dark Hero. So any of these players can win games, while the Spectre, like I said, they really like to balance that lineup out. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to take the dog here. I'm going to take the underdog and take the lower salary in the Spectre for tonight.
I'm feeling Bears, but it's going to be such a close match. I think this one goes 7 games no matter who wins, but let's find out. The teams are ready.
Yeah, you can only hope for 7 games in a conference final. Keep it excited for everybody. And for the Bears, we have Dark and Hoos out. So that's going to be the definitive lineup as the Bears. They're starting off into the Spectre zone. A good aerial play here. And a pass out the middle. So the Bears really starting to get off to a hot foot here, getting the possession play going. Challenging early and often, and a little bit of a double commit there for him.
Yeah, the Bears got off on the offensive end to start the game, but now it looks like the Spectre are trying to push back. Proto going for the ball, but is not going to get there before Dark Hero and clearing it out to the right side. And right now it's kind of like a game of ping pong, just going back and forth a little bit here to start the game, testing the waters out.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of that in any conference final, any playoff match really is these teams, nobody really wants to make that initial push to be super aggressive or super defensive. They're really going to just try and feel these teams out, make some plays downfield, just kind of hit the ball away, see who's making touches, see who's got it on this particular night. Like you said, it's a match of ping pong right now, so both these teams able to hit the ball, make contact where they need to. Dark's going to make a great shot downfield. Can he get back to it? He can! He's going to open the scoring up for the Bears, and it's going to be a 1-0 lead.
What a start and what a clear from Dark Hero to get the ball that far down the field, to have that much open space to work with. I'm an AL. I cannot do that. I cannot go off the wall like that. Really good skill out of the gate for the Bears.
Yeah, and like we alluded to, we're starting off in Foundation League, which is it's the building blocks of the foundation at MLE. It's these players that these teams are trying to find these diamonds in the rough, if you will. These players that are really going to start to make waves throughout the rest of the MLE leagues. And especially when you get this late in the season, you really start to notice some of these players. Then you go, that player is going to be in CL or ML, or even up in AL in a season or two, even next season, you know what I mean? Like, you see Dark here making these great aerial plays. He's got the directional air roll bound. He's flying high. He's on the ball, making hard touches. So, you know what I mean? He's one of those players that I fully expect to see in a higher league coming up here soon.
I would tend to agree here, and you see the same type of clear he went for earlier, doing it again right there off the back wall. That's a skill that you do see up in the higher leagues, and I have a feeling Dark Hero is going to do that. The Spectre were able to get their first shot on goal about 30 seconds ago or so. They're trying to put some offense on, but mostly it's been the Bears doing that pushing, and the Spectre have been more reacting in the early stages of this game.
And like you alluded to, Dark all over that back wall defense. Who's with one of her own there, and the Spectre they're keeping this ball in for a little bit of time here. So, like you said, they just got their first shot. Let's see if they can get a couple more here. But again, Dark on that back wall is just super dangerous. A great pass to mid. Who's gets the pass? But a great save at Avenge there.
Yeah, great job putting the ball on goal, but unfortunately it was right in the middle of the goal. If you slot it a bit more to the right, it might have been able to beat the keeper, but that was not the case. Great defense from the Spectre.
And what I'm seeing a lot of here is who's very well in a position to play support. She loves to just kind of let Dark do his thing, make these great plays. Sees that he's a little bit awkward there. Great demo out of the Spectre. Could have been a dangerous shot. He's going to get one of his own. It's hard. Dark Hero off the spawn. A great save.
And that might be one of those things where the demo actually helped the Bears out big time there, because it allowed Dark Hero to get back and make that save. If it wasn't for the demo, the Spectre might have had this game tied at 1.
Yeah, it's my favorite comm. You get demoed on the offensive half that you're attacking. You go, okay, I'm back. Don't worry about it. I'll be there. And then you just spawn in, make the right turn too. You got to kind of make that call in the moment too. Right when you spawn, have to pick a side. He chooses the right one, makes a great save off the Bears, just right back into the offensive zone. It's going to be a shot on net. One of the Spectre players couldn't connect, but Dark Hero with his second of the match.
And Engineer took their time a little bit trying to get the clear on the back wall. That allowed the 50 to go perfectly to Dark Hero for a wide open net. 2-0 Bears.
Yeah, and something I'm noticing too, one of the differences so far in the match, we're still only in game 1 here, is that the Bears just a little bit better at hitting the ball hard and downfield. When you're in Foundation League, sometimes these players don't have the best possession skills built up yet. They're working on them and they're starting to get there, and you'll see it. But sometimes the name of the game in Foundation is just get the ball downfield, make them awkward, get it over their head so they have to play backwards. And the Bears just so far doing a better job of that. As you see, Hoos with a great one, a secondary touch, Dark with a great chip shot on the ground.
Yeah, that was a perfect redirect. Hospital with a great pass, but for Dark Hero to slot that perfectly near post, out of the reach of the Engineer, that is as good of a shot as you could see in this stage.
And yeah, I mean, that play starts with a good, solid clear downfield. Who's able to receive her own clear off the sidewall, kind of free to do whatever she wants with it. And Dark with the heads-up play, realizing that, okay, they're on their back foot, they're retreating, and I'm going to have a good opportunity to receive a pass in middle here. And if they get a hold of it, it's not super dangerous. Benj can't quite connect there. Proto, a good demo, but he couldn't connect. He got the opening lead block there, but he just couldn't connect with the ball. He's going to pass to mid. Great aerial control there to get the dunk, too.
Yeah, and that was as good of a chance as we've seen the Spectre get so far. Even though they weren't able to convert on that hit, put it on net, I think it's very promising that they were able to get one. And what do you know? At the end of the game, they're able to get one, get some momentum going back in their way before game 2.
Yeah, I mean, in other instances, other esports, other sports, you call this a garbage time goal, but I strongly disagree with that statement. Those goals can be the building blocks of getting yourself back into a series, right? You can say, okay, look, we can score on these guys. They got the shutout. They threw that away. No more shutout for the Bears. And then you look at it, you go, okay, we can score. We got the last one. Momentum was swinging in our favor. They had a lot of opportunities at the end of that game. You saw the great dunk off the control off the wall by one of the Spectre's players. I wish I could remember who it was. It happened so fast. But yeah, you got to look at these things as building blocks to get yourself back into the series, right? Dark got a goal early on. You got the great pass. from Who's to Dark. So they got the team connection there, but 2 of those were solo plays by Dark. So if you can shut Dark down, you can get a little bit more pressure on him, kind of challenge him a little bit earlier. Then you got to look at yourself and go, okay, look, we scored. We did at the end of the game. We know we can catch them off guard with these nice shots from the corner. So we got to find a way to keep doing that.
Hospital was definitely more of a facilitator in this game, but that's not always the case. Hospital can score goals. I believe she had over 50 in the regular season. So for her to
60.
really, 60. Wow. 60 goals in the regular season. So for her to be the facilitator in this game and not going to get those goals, that's really impressive versatility to go and be that passer to set up Dark Hero. And we're going to have to see if that continues in this game.
And look, I'm not the greatest at math. You can ask our great production manager, Pandy, that, but 26 plus 4, so she's 26 and 4 on the season, 60 goals. That's 2 goals a game for Who's. Throughout a whole season, 30 games, averaging 2 a game. So to see her sit back and be the facilitator, unbelievable. It's Dark, a great air carry to start, a great dunk. It was a good effort by Proto. He's credited for the save. He does everything he can, but Dark just comes out on top 6 seconds into the game.
And Proto did a good job there getting to the ball, but the dunk from Dark Hero this early in the game, all that momentum we talked about at the end of game 1, wiped away 6 seconds into game 2.
And again, we saw the fundamentals or the strategy that you want to see the Spectres do, which is when you see Dark with the ball, get up quick and get up in his face, try to put a hand up. You're never going to stop it if you're not there, which they tried to do, but I mean, whether he ran out of boost or he just said, all right, I'm dunking him, you know what I mean? He came out on top, like we said. It's a great shot, a great air carry, unbelievable control in the Foundation League there. Goose with a great save of her own there.
Yeah, the Bears are playing very well right now. They seem to be in sync, but the Spectre with a big clear downfield, that one's on net, and they are able to tie it up at 1.
That's a great, look at that quick turn by Proto, realizes that Dark wasn't going to be able to get back up to the ball, or seeing that he wanted to control it. He says, I got to get around. Again, I got to get up in Dark's face quick. I got to stop this attack from happening. He does exactly that, and unfortunately for him, comes out on top with a great sniper goal from all the way across the field.
Yeah, flipping the script a little bit. We talked about the Bears, how they did a great job clearing the ball in game 1, getting those long clears, finding people out of position. Well, the Spectre were able to get a long clear goal right there of their own. And they're able to get another shot on net. The Engineer coming back, and what do you know, out of nowhere, Spectre at the lead.
That's, again, a dunk of his own. Look at that, off of Dark Hero's head. He said, you can do it, I can do it too. Like you said, this is important for the Spectre. I mean, obviously, any lead is good, but their first lead of the series, doing it quick, after getting scored on first, almost another there. And another great dunk by Prototype. You can really see them starting to put the pressure on Dark here. It's going to have a dangerous opportunity. I don't think he got that boost on the mid. He did not, but a good air carry. Both Spectres up, but not a dangerous double commit their turn.
Not at all. They were able to get the ball to the outside away from Hospital ball. That allowed them not to be able to put another shot back on goal. But Dark Hero is feeling so comfortable in the air right now. It's really impressive to look, especially in Foundation League. Sorry.
Yeah, and like I said, man, you can see Dark getting a lot of time and space on these sidewall opportunities. He's collecting a full boost at mid and able to take the ball up the wall. You're gonna have to start getting a challenge out a little bit earlier, making your rotations maybe a little bit tighter. A good turn by Proto there. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Now they're gonna have a good opportunity. Venge getting the ball downfield. Can't quite get the bump on Venge. Gonna get back. He's not. Who's gonna take the goal here for herself? Get herself on the board with her first goal of the series.
Well, good for Hoos, but that's just good positioning from the Bears being able to make that 50, and Hoos right there to finish the job. But Spectre have to have someone back in that situation. 2 people a little too far up in that scenario.
Yeah, and you could start to see the beginnings of them starting to make these quicker turns on offense and get a really tight rotation going. Unfortunately for them, both Bears players are super aggressive on that attack. And like you said, just nobody back in time. A great opportunity for Venge. He's got to slam on the brakes to get back to this. He does, and he gets a bar down ski Great turn by him and great composure to keep himself behind this ball and get it in the net.
Now watch this bump from Dark here. I think that is a big reason that ball ended up having enough power to go, and that was not an easy angle. And for Spectre to get that goal, the bump, I think, helped him out a little bit on that one.
Absolutely. And again, a good quick turn by him, and Proto's going to do one of his own. A good power shot off the back wall. Might just float in, but Dark, a heroic effort in his own net.
Dark Hero has been the MVP so far of this series, just so comfortable in the air. But the Spectre hanging in this game, they're really doing a great job of putting the pressure on. They only got 3 shots in game 1, so far 7 shots in game 2.
Tough situation for Proto here. He's all by him lonesome, but Venge, a great demo. Who's just going to get spawned back in time? She's going to make the save. Venge, somebody's got to get ahead of that ball and kind of play lead blocker. You got to know that Hoos is going to spawn in time, and it comes back the other way. It's going to be credited as an own goal. Somebody was coming off the back wall. But if we go back a play term, like I said, you get the demo on Hoosier. You got this free run downfield 2v0, and you know Hoos is going to spawn on the backside. Somebody's got to either leave that ball or get ahead of the play and get on Hoos to make sure she can't get the save and just kind of walk that ball in the net. And then the Bears, great heads-up play to turn it around and just get the ball back on net because you know both Spectre players are already in deep.
I was thinking the same thing right there. Oh, right there, you got it. Right there, they did it. What a perfect timing. I was just about to mention the same thing from that last series of plays before this goal. You either have to get back or you have to go make that play, but they were caught in no man's land. This time, Vengineer recognized that, made the bump, and was able to open up a shooting lane. Spectre now have the lead again. What a game this has been.
Yeah, back and forth, and the Spectre just keep getting these comeback goals, which, in my opinion, some of the most important goals you can get in a series, you know what I mean, are these, like, rebuttal goals, if you will. Like, you let one in, maybe a tough one, like you said, they got caught out in no man's land, but to come back, get redemption on the same play, and here we go again, both players up, committing hard. They realize that Hoos is on her back foot, and they can send the house. They do, and they get rewarded now. Their first multi-goal lead of the series.
Frodo with the tiniest little touch, and it just pushed the ball behind Hospital. Without that little bit of touch, Hospital might have had enough to clear it out, but it was enough. Spectre have a minute to hold on in this lead, and the Bears, they have a potent offense, so Spectre aren't done yet. They got some work to do still.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing. I would say with a minute left, you're down 2. It might be time to start panicking and sending a lot at the house. But with what we've seen out of the Bears, I mean, they can kind of just keep the script and goals will come their way. They're very good at making offense happen. It's Dark. Again off the wall, but he can't connect. It just falls out. A good ground pinch, but Venge, great defense here. It looks like the Spectre kind of going into turtle mode here, trying to play not to lose, which, in my opinion, sometimes when you play not to lose can get you in worse spots than when you keep your foot on the pass, but make me eat my words, Proto, because that is a 3-goal lead now for the Spectre.
It seemed to be working for them. What the Spectre had going for them there is that they at least had one person still pressuring the ball. They had one sitting back a little further, but they had one person on the ball pressuring. So they weren't turtling too much. They weren't trying to be a brick wall on the defense. They were still putting on some pressure, and that allowed them to find that 6th goal.
Yeah, and that's going to be a dangerous play for Venge. You don't get a lot of boost there, but trying to control the ball in your corner can get you in some tough spots with 50-50s, but they're going to be able to clear the ball downfield with 3 goals up and 5 seconds on the clock. I'm pretty sure we can call this one for the Spectre. They almost lock up another one, but ball goes straight down after Dark's carry. And buckle up, ladies and gentlemen, because we got a 1-1 series, and it's looking like this is going to go back and forth and might go the distance.
Yeah, what a response from the Spectre after losing 3-1 in game 1 and giving up a goal. I believe it was 6 seconds into this game. The Spectre came back and dominated play afterwards. They got outshot 7-3 in game 1. They outshot the Bears 10-4 this game. So 2 very different games to start off this series. And it's going to be interesting how both teams can respond and see who gets this pivotal game 3.
And looking at the scoreboard, only 4 saves total, 2 apiece for these teams. So it looks like a lot of the defense happening in the corners or right outside the box. And that goes to show what we talked about the Spectre need to do. They got to get up at Dark Hero fast. You got to make sure you put a hand up, because if you're not putting a hand up and you give this guy free reign, I mean, he's just going to air carry it. In FL, that's a super hard play to get up to and defend from being flat-footed in your net, right? And we talked about Hoos being 26-4 on the season. Dark coming in here 10-0, only played 2 series, but to go 5-0 in both those series is a hard feat to do in MLE. It week in and week out to be able to sweep a 5-game series is extremely tough. You can usually get caught slacking on the last 2 games if you get a 3-0 and you know what I mean, you're kind of goofing around with the team. You're all happy because you got the series win, which goes in that column. But to be able to get 2 5-0s is an unbelievable feat. So you know that Dark Hero has it in him to just kind of lock things down. And I fully expect to see more of him doing what he wants out of the air.
I fully agree on that, but one thing I think I noticed last game, now I don't know if you agree on this, was that I feel like Dark Hero did a lot more one-on-one play, but right there, how's that for a one-on-one play? What a 50 to put that in the back of the net.
Yeah, and he's really good at getting good dunks. You can tell he lined that one up, right? He gets the ball in front of him. He kind of hits the brakes a little bit, lets off the boost, lets them hit the ball into him, and man, what placement out of him to get that back onto the net.
But to go back to my point before, never mind. I'm just not going to get this point out. Dark Hero scores again, doubles the lead 30 seconds in.
And we talked about Hoos's goals per game at 2, right? 26-4, 60 goals on the season. I just took a peek over at the sheet. Dark had 29 goals in those 10 games. So, you know what I mean, not great math out of your boy, but that's 2.9 goals per game, right? We'll get some decimals in there.
That's great math to me right there. But yeah, again, I think that Hospital was just sitting a little too far back last game. It was mainly Dark Hero trying to be the attack by themselves, and Hospital wasn't doing as much facilitating as we saw in game 1. Great save there by the Bears to keep this a 2-goal lead. But I think we're starting to see Hospital play up a little bit more this game, and that's one reason why.
Oh my goodness.
Well, when Dark Hero can play like this, you don't really need Hospital up as much.
Yeah, that is a tough position for Prototype. Venge makes an early challenge, gets beat. Prototype extremely far back on the retreat. And, you know what I mean? What I was going to say before Dark had that unbelievable carry into the air carry is, from my point of view, you can kind of tell, oh, what a great shot out of Spectre just outside. It's the post. But my POV would tell me that Dark is a ones player, right? He may not be a ones main, but he definitely gets dirty in the ones playlist. I mean, the way he can carry the ball off the wall, the way he controlled that ball on top of his car and was able to get that air carry, that's just a ones-minded player, or someone who has experience in that playlist. You know what I mean? You can't just be natural at that. You have to train that, right? So, like you said earlier, you can see him making all these solo plays, and it shows. It shows where he gets that experience from, and he's clearing the ball down the field. So, again, if you can get him the ball and get him those 1v1 plays, I think the Bears are going to be very successful on that.
I would tend to agree there. Dark is showing why they were 10-0 in the regular season. Just great skill all around. And Dark has really played well with Hoosball. They have great chemistry, know where each other are on the field. But the Spectre, they have to find a way to respond this game, because so far we're nearly halfway in, only 2 shots, only one of them forced to save out of the Bears. So we're really going to need to see some offensive firepower out of the Spectre, because so far they haven't been able to bring it, and now they need it even more with Hoosball getting on the board.
Yeah, and that's Venge just gets beat there. Great clear out of Hoos getting behind the ball. Proto, I kind of lost track of where he was, but what I did see was that both Bears players were able to get back to this ball after the original clear from Hoos. So the Spectre, a little bit of a misplay on their defense there. Not going to give up the face-off goal, which is a good start to a comeback. This ball's going to go heavy into the Spectre favor, but Hoos up quick and up fast. A great effort there, but not going to be on net. Going to retreat for Dark to be able to kind of take a 1v1 play here. And you can see that unbelievable shadow defense out of an FL player in Dark as he gets another dunk in his favor. He's going to get this ball moving back into the Spectre half.
Yeah, the Bears are doing a great job controlling right now. Proto's going to have a chance to put a shot on target, but Dark pushing it to the outside, to the corner, going to take the boost, and that is dangerous, giving Dark boost on the wall. But when you are down 4-0, or even 3-0 about a minute in, like we saw earlier this game, from the Spectre's point of view, how do you come back? Do you try to play the same game that you did last game, or do you try to play a bit more attacking? What do you think a team should do when they find themselves down early?
In my eyes, you kind of stick to the plan until a certain point, right? Maybe 2 minutes on the clock, a minute 30 left, kind of when the game's starting to get to a point where you need to make something happen. And then you just kind of go, you're down 4 goals, you got to kind of go full aggro because A, you need to score, and B, again, we talked about it in that first game, you can get a couple of those building block goals to mount a comeback. But you got to change something up eventually. And I think like I said, about 2 minutes into this game, or left in this game, down this many goals, you got to just start being aggressive. And again, they're not really sending the house at Dark, but no, they don't need to because Hoos, out of the corner, nobody gets a touch on that wall, and Hoos just a power shot right into the center of the net, and unfortunately, it's going to be counted as an own goal for Prototype there.
Yeah, Proto really close, tried their best to get back to make that save, just could not. But the Bears have been in total control of this game, and they have some more control now, not able to add on a 6th. But this is going to be really interesting to see how the Spectre respond to this game, because the first game, it felt like they were outclassed. This one, they were outclassed. So they are going to have to respond. They're going to have to do something a little bit different because Dark Hero and Hospital have just absolutely controlled this game from start to finish.
Yeah, and you gotta take this time too. Like we said, you're down 4 with a minute left. If just both of you start kind of playing aggressive. You don't need to really calm that much more at that point. But what you do need to do is talk to your teammate, right? You gotta start making sure the vibes are up. You got to kind of start going, whatever, we just got beat this game, go GG, go next, right? And then you can make these discussions happen about, okay, what do we need to do? Okay, we're not getting up in Dark's face. Okay, we're seeing who's get a little bit more involved. How do we stop that? We got to do this, we got to do that. So you got to take this time to make sure you mentally reset, especially in a long series like this. We're playing a 7-game series here in the conference finals. So like I said, you got to take a breath. You got to talk to your teammate. You got to make sure you know what's going on and make sure you guys know what you can do to make sure this next game goes in your favor.
And that's the big difference. This is the first round where we see 7-game series instead of 5-game series. And now, most of the time in a 5-game series, you're down 2-1. Yeah, you have that pressure of being eliminated on you. But being down 2-1 in a 7-game series is not the end of the world. You just have to be able and have that mental ability to respond. So we're going to have to see the Spectre really try to pick up their game a little bit, keep that mentality strong, and hopefully they're able to respond and tie this back up. Or if not, at least keep this next game close so they can have a bit of confidence going into Game 5.
Yeah, and I don't know if you peaked that, but Dark Hero getting the 999, so close to getting 1,000 in a playoff match. That is unheard of, unbelievable out of Dark. Like we talked about, he's got a one's mindset. You can see it in his shadow defense. You can see it in his breakout plays. Had that unbelievable carry on top of his car, the great dribble into an air carry. He didn't just do the simple double jump flick. He got the jump. He got under the ball. You can see him getting a little style on it, getting his air roll in there. So this Dark Hero, man, he is showing up in a big time match in a big time way with solo plays on defense, making sure the ball's not getting his net. Super stoic on his shadow defense saves.
I agree with you 100%. For Dark Hero to come out like this in the playoffs, in the conference finals, so much on the line is a testament. And how about adding another right in the beginning? We have seen the Bears do this 3 out of the 4 games now, scoring early.
Yeah, it is. That's a super nervous jump there out of Proto. There's so much going on in your head in that situation, and I feel for Proto because, you know what I mean? You're like, okay, we got to make something big happen here. And then what's the first thing that happens again in the game? Dark's on the ball. Dark's got an opportunity for a carry. You know what I mean? And then you have to be the one to make that save. And it's not an easy save, right? You're on the retreat. Ball's in the air. It's at an angle. I mean, it's just a super tough play to make. And then the ball's a little bit slower than you think. You jump a little bit too soon. And then you're just in an awkward spot. So feel for Proto on that opening play. But, you know what I mean? They got to get back in the game. They got to go. You know what I mean? Venge has got to be the teammate they can be and go, hey, man, it's okay. Shake it off. We'll get it back.
I cannot agree with you more. And demoing Dark Hero this early, Dark's going to be back for this and make a save, but adding that little bit of physicality might just be enough to throw Dark Hero off. And I think that's a big key to look for in this game. Proto went up a little too far there, almost got in a really dangerous position, but a good pass attempt from Dark to try to make that work.
Almost connected on Hoos there, too, to get the bump. I mean, even if it's not a demo, if you knock Hoos out of the play there, you're going to have a great opportunity to take that ball towards the net. Hoos looking for some bumps of her own. A good shot. Dark makes the save.
This still might be on.
I know. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it to be one of those ones that just kind of slips right past the crossbar and gets into the bottom of the net. And here goes Dark again. Looks for a boost steal, but doesn't quite get it. Proto on the defense. A great booming clear downfield to relieve some pressure. But who's a great 50 in the Bears' favor. Good control. Way to slow the play down here. And a good pass to mid. It's up. Oh, so close. But not going to be in for the Bears is the Spectre with another great clear down the field.
Yeah, but every time the Spectre are getting these great clears downfield, it always feels like Hospital is there, really holding the back line together for the Bears. We see her back, whether it's already back or as we just saw in that last play, bringing the ball up the back wall.
Oh, no.
Oh, no is right. Bringing the ball up the back wall, but it's setting up Dark Hero to make these offensive plays.
What is that touch? Unbelievable by Dark Hero. I don't know if that's our replay being sped up. That ball came flying off the side of his car, and I don't think you got to see it in the replay there. But if you're paying enough attention during the game, Who's had a massive bump there on the breakout right when Dark got the touch on the side of his car. Who's bumped one of the Spectre players in the midfield and just kind of opened up the lane for the Bears to take that ball downfield. Another clear, and like you said, time and time again, who's there on the back line? Hoos is there on the back line.
Yeah, and Hospital on that last play, Hospital thought about looking for that pass off Dark Hero, but as soon as she realized she was not going to get that ball, she started going back, and that set her up to make those defensive plays. That's just great IQ, great Rocket League IQ, and especially when you reach this stage, when you reach the conference finals, you need that in order to be able to pull out these games. It helps a lot because this game has been well played by the Spectre, a lot better than the last game for sure. The Spectre have had chances. They've been putting some dangerous balls down the field, but Hospital just doing a great job of recognizing when she can push up and when she shouldn't push up.
Yeah, and you know what I mean? And that's just the name of the game in Foundation League, especially at this stage, like you alluded to, is consistency, right? The way you rank up in Rocket League, especially at these lower ranks, you know what I mean, is consistency. You don't need the flashiest mechanics. You don't need to be hitting flip reset double taps. I mean, obviously we see Dark doing these crazy things and good on it. He's making the plays happen. But the thing that's more important with those plays is their consistency, right? You can see that when he's in the air, he's making contact with the ball. When Hoos is on defense, she's clearing the ball consistently hard down the field and able to make those touches out for Dark to take control. Here's Dark again, another touch hard in the air, so you can see him. And Proto just unfortunately a little bit nervous trying to make these plays and missing the ball a little bit. Venge a little bit too far upfield. The Spectre just a little bit slower on the consistency is what I'm noticing.
When we speak about consistency, Dark Hero is doing a great job every time he goes up for a ball, making a nice clean landing and being able to continue on with the play. On that last really good shot we saw by the Spectre, where Dark Hero was able to get back and make the save, Dark Hero landed in their own net, in the Spectre net, and was able to land on their wheels, get all the way back, and really be able to make the big defensive play. Spectre, they've been so close, just have not been able to get that goal so far.
Yeah, it's only showing 3 shots on the board for the Spectre. I kind of credit them. Oh no! Oh, that's unfortunate at the end of the game. It's just gonna come off the sidewall. Proto's trying to probably take this ball to his back wall, maybe make something happen and get another one of those late time goals to again get their team back in it, get the vibes flowing again. And unfortunately, it hits the nose of their car and just ends up in their own net. And the Bears going to take game 4 here, I believe.
Game 4.
Yeah, and that's going to put them on match point. Yeah, exactly. Because last game you said they're not on match point yet, but now they are. The Spectres back against the wall. So it's time for a big time player to make a big time play. And out of the Spectre, I think it's going to have to be Prototype. He's going to have to get these nerves under him. He's going to have to calm down, and that's part, it's part on Venge too, as a teammate, to say, hey man, breathe, take a step back. We got this. We can do this. Teams have made these comebacks before, and we're going to be the team to do it this time.
I could not agree more. They were able to hold Bears to only 4 shots that game. The only problem, Bears got 3 goals on those 4 shots. No saves from the Spectre. Bears were able to make 3 saves on all 3 of the Spectre shots. But when it comes to that end of the game goal, it doesn't matter whether you lose 3-0 or 2-0, especially in the playoffs where you're not looking at possible goal difference for ties or anything of that sort. It doesn't matter. You just have to be able to bounce back this coming game. So that last goal, who knows? Maybe it gives them some. Maybe it's like, okay, we can put a ball on the goal, even if it's on our own. It doesn't matter whether you lose 2 or 3-0. There was a second left. So hopefully the Spectre are able to say, yeah, we're able to do this. We're able to put a shot on net. We're able to put some danger on. Now let's go out, get some goals this game, and keep trying to control the midfield like they did last game, which was one reason why the shots were more limited for the Bears.
And that is going to be a fortunate start for the Spectre. Dark Hero getting the initial play that he always does. He gets his air carry in, gets it in early, gets it in the first 10 seconds, but this time it's crossbar and out. But who says, hold on, it's only been 22 seconds. We got to get the ball in the net. We got to get that 1 goal lead we've been getting. A great power slide cut by Dark there. A great pass off the back one. Better positioning by Who's. An unbelievable shot placement there in the bottom left corner.
Yeah, to shoot that near post so perfectly. The only spot where the Spectre couldn't get it. It's just a testament to how well the Bears are playing so far. Again, the Spectre aren't out of it. There's 4.5 minutes left. There's 270 seconds left of Rocket League. That is a lot of time to score some goals, but they need to figure out this defense and know how to not let the Bears get any more goals, because so far the Bears have been doing a lot of what they have wanted to do.
That's going to be an uncharacteristic miss at a Dark, but he gets the recovery. Who's there? And who shoots? Bottom left, the first one. Top left, the second one. Dark, a little bit of a misplay here. Works out in their favor. Gets back under the ball. A great pass off the back wall, almost in the same spot. And Who's puts it in the top left corner. She's painting corners right now. Painting by numbers. 3, is it going to be bottom right or top right? We'll find out soon.
As one of my old favorite casters used to say, that's where grandma keeps the cookies. The top shelf. Perfect placement from Hospital. And we've seen Hospital figure out exactly when to go up. It's something I mentioned last game. Hospital has been doing a great job of knowing when she is able to go up for those balls and really be able to take those passes from Dark Hero. And so far into this game, she has been aggressive, pushing up the field a little bit more and catching Spectre a little bit more off guard, because I think that they're just expecting Darkfire to be doing the carrying. But no, Hospital has been there and has been able to make them pay for some awkward positions that they've been in defensively.
Yeah, and that another good placement by the Spectre. Proto's going to come up. It's not going to go in. The accuracy just lacking as the Spectre. 2 shots to the back wall of the Bears, but not going to be enough. And there is that 1v1 prowess of Dark Hero again. The side flick, it's a mouthful, but it works out for him. Look at this control. Great shot placement, great timing. And in term, again, that 1v1 prowess is showing up big time for Dark in this 2v2 game mode. And I mean, if you're going to give them time and space, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but as soon as I saw Dark Hero have that ball on their hood, just letting it bounce on top with 50 boost, I immediately felt scared for the Spectre. It just incredible control and just knowing what to do in certain situations. The Bears are really playing like a team to be reckoned with, and if they keep this up, they're only 2.5 minutes away from winning the Orange Conference Championship and going to Grand Finals.
Yeah, and something. Oh, here we go again. Another great flick. This time the delayed one. The Spectre defense expecting the speed flick again. This time he opts for the backflip flick, and he's just going to take it up and over. Proto getting caught out. It's unfortunate. Again, in this Foundation League, playing shadow defense at a level to stop these flicks is extremely hard, right? And you don't see it a lot in Foundation, but Dark coming out as the full package. You see him doing it on offense and defense. An uncharacteristic miss. Gonna give the Spectres a little bit of opportunity left here in the second half of this game as we just tick over the 2:30 mark. Proto a good 50 and a little wave dash off of it. Gets control of the ball. He's gonna bury his way into the net. Bully Dark out of the way. Unbelievable solo effort here. Again, you need a big-time player to make big-time plays. Proto does exactly that, and this is the goal they need to start to mount this comeback, because you can't do it from 0. You have to start at 1, and that is the one that the Spectre are going to need to start it.
That's a great 50, but let's go back to that miss on the other side. The Bears had a chance to make it 5-0. Dark Hero just barely missing the ball, but especially when you're trying to avoid a comeback, those are the kinds of situations that you really need to capitalize on. Really take the hope out of any chance at a comeback. But they were not able to do it. And what do you know? It seems to be paying off for the Spectre, because this game could have easily been 5-0. Instead, now it is 4-2. There's 2 minutes left, and the Spectre are still alive in this game.
And that is what we've been seeing a lot out of the Bears, right? Dark making a pass, especially in this game specifically. Dark making a pass from the corner to Hoos in the center. Hoos just cheating up as she would normally on any other play. And the Spectre make a great turn there. Hoos off the ball. Not going to be enough. Dark. Great little fake challenge there. Enough to get the Spectre defense to bite. Now he's going to have an opportunity. Oh, so close. It's such a tough situation to be in, because Dark seemingly in this game can do whatever he wants with the ball whenever he wants. This time a different flick goes for the front flick, and it's again a little bit slower than they're expecting. The timing's off on the save, and unfortunately another own goal credited to the Spectre.
Yeah, I think that second jump just jumped and the roll was to the left side. I think that actually cost him big time. If you maybe just do a straight jump there, you might just be able to push it to the outside, but the Bears really making them pay for that tiny mistake. It's the little things when you get to this stage. You have to be so perfect in order to win an MLE championship. And when you just have a tiny mistake like that, it can easily result in a goal.
And there's another one of those differential plays that we've been seeing. That hit in the corner there, oh no, it's going the other way. It's an unfortunate tough for the Spectre. Who's with the ball? Great 50 in recovery out of Venge. But again, Dark, just the air player out of Dark, unmatched in this series. He's up to the ball quick. He's never really challenged in the air, and it's going to be a pass off the back wall. But nothing going on there, and we're going back the other way. Who's with an open net opportunity? It's going to be high, but Dark, an unbelievable touch. Crossbar down. He's everywhere. He's in the air. He's on the ground. He's receiving passes. Look at this. I mean, unbelievable. Straight into the crossbar and in.
On that last defensive play, he was even on that back wall playing great shadow defense and was able to push it out to the left-hand side, starting that counter attack. Dark Hero just doing a great job of being everywhere and really playing the game that Hoostel needs him to play in order to win this series. And the Spectre, they've been so close. They really did have a good offensive chance on that last pass play, but it was just even better defense by Dark Hero, which led to the offense. And right now, it's looking like, I don't want to, anything's possible, but it's looking like the Bears are going to the Grand Finals.
Yeah, you gotta start with that air carry there, that a touch in the air. You gotta get that on net. And I think the major difference here, it was the clears and it was the accuracy out of the Bears. Oh my God, Dark almost sending them off in style. I think the major difference for me, Term, was It was the accuracy out of the Bears clears in the consistently hard clears down the field of the Bears. Every time they touched the ball, you saw the trail on the ball. So you know they're hitting the ball hard. You know they're making it go downfield. And every time the Spectre cleared the ball, you never knew if you're going to get a hard clear or a soft clear. They just couldn't get that constant pressure on the ball that they needed. The GG's coming out in chat. So to me, like I said, other than Dark being the hero, I mean, literally it's in his name. The constant pressure out of the Bears with those clears is what did it for me.
Yeah, it was a great team effort. Both Hospital and Dark knew their roles, knew exactly what they had to do in order to win this series, and they did it to perfection. You know, they dropped game 2, but even that was a close game. They were able to play really well. And up next, they're going to have either the Hawks or the Aviators. Let me tell you, the Hawks have a really good player themselves in Achilles, who might be able to play that same kind of 1v1 game that Dark Hero is playing. I think if they see the Hawks in the next round, they'll be a great challenge and a great matchup. The Aviators play more like a team, kind of similar to how the Spectre play. So it'll be really interesting to see who comes out of that blue conference and who Bears will have to face next Sunday. Next Saturday.
Absolutely. And before we send this off, again, congratulations to the Spectres FL2 team for making it this far. Venge and Proto, I mean, unbelievable showing tonight. Obviously, it didn't go your way, and that's super unfortunate. But the fact that you're here, you're in the conference finals, says a lot about you two as players. So, again, congratulations to the Spectre team. And as we said, beginning of this series, they spread their 2 series out as a team. So everybody on that Spectres FL team involved in this 2's team being where they are today. So, again, congratulations to the Spectres. Claps in the chat for them. Everybody go to FL General. That's in the FL General. Congrats to them. And Bears, again, we'll see who you play in the finals later tonight. And other than that, you got anything else?
No, that's it. It was a great game by both teams. The Spectre, as you said, had a great season. And I can't wait for the next series that we have here on MLE Sports GG.
And that's going to be the Express, in the Blizzard. We're hopping way up to the Master League. That's going to be Nigel and C1C50. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned in. Again, Express Blizzard Master League. That's going to do it here for us in the Foundation League. And we'll see you guys soon.